They called it scary sporting. A team that didn't just beat you, it devoured you. Every pass, every press, every run. It was football played like a street fight. Organised chaos with a heartbeat. Under Amorim, Sporting Lisbon became the nightmare of Portuguese football. They pressed with anger, defended with pride, and countered with cruelty. Opponents called it suicidal. Amorim called it courage. But courage that once terrified Europe hasn't followed him to Manchester. It was supposed to be the rebirth. The creation of scary sporting 2.0 in England's biggest theatre. Instead, it feels like the monster never left Lisbon. Why? The tactics are there. The formation is the same. The idea, still pure. So why does it look so broken? Because Amorim didn't build a system at Sporting. He built a culture. And cultures can't be downloaded. They have to be earned. When Amorim arrived in Lisbon in 2020, Sporting were shattered, just like United are now. Players doubted themselves. The dressing room was toxic. The club's identity was gone. Sound familiar? But within months, he turned despair into defiance. Not with money, not with stars, but with something invisible, belief. At Sporting, players would die for every inch. At United, they still look like they're afraid to sweat. So before Scary Sporting 2.0 can exist in Manchester, one truth remains. Amorim has to rebuild not tactics, but trust. Because tactics can win matches, but only belief wins wars. Every philosophy has a birthplace. For Amorim, it wasn't Lisbon, it was chaos. He wasn't groomed by Guardiola's academies of control. He was raised in the brutal, unpredictable football of the Portuguese league, where survival meant adaptation. At Benfica, he was once labelled average. But what people missed was his obsession. Even as a player, Amorim studied coaches, their mistakes, their patterns. When he retired early through injury, he wasn't bitter. He was ready. In 2018, he started coaching a third division team, Casapia. No cameras, no fame, just mud, buses, and borrowed tactics boards. That's where the first version of Scary Sporting was born, against poverty, not power. Players remember him saying, if you can't outrun them, outthink them. If you can't outthink them, outfight them. That mentality became his identity. Aggression mixed with intelligence. Emotion mixed with precision. When Sporting Lisbon called, Amorim brought a playbook written in suffering. At Sporting, Amorim's 3-4-3 wasn't his invention, it was his rebellion. A system designed to crush teams with intensity, not possession. Wingbacks pressed like forwards. Forwards defended like midfielders. And the midfield, two warriors who never stopped moving. Opponents couldn't breathe. Sporting suffocated them with speed, purpose, and emotion. It wasn't tiki-taka. It wasn't counter-attack. It was controlled violence. That's why fans called it Scary Sporting. It didn't look beautiful. It looked terrifying. Amorim's team didn't want to dominate the ball. They wanted to dominate the fight. It was football stripped of vanity. No luxury, no hesitation. But when he crossed into the Premier League, he entered a different world. A world that glorifies patience over passion, structure over spirit. And that's the dilemma. The very chaos that made him a genius in Portugal makes him look naive in England. Scary Sporting was born from hunger. But hunger is the one thing Manchester United has forgotten. The Premier League doesn't forgive idealists. It exposes them. Every week brings a new puzzle. Slot's press, Pep's rotation, Arteta's aggression. In England, you don't face one style of football. You face every style of football. This isn't Portugal anymore. Here, even the bottom club runs 110 kilometers a game. At Sporting, Amorim's 3-4-3 was the wolf among sheep. Pressing high, suffocating, fearless. But in England, he's no longer the predator. He's surrounded by other predators. When United press under Amorim, they look electric for 20 minutes and exhausted by the 30th. The distances are too wide. The triggers come half a second late, and half a second is all it takes for Premier League teams to destroy you.
Jensen, you'll head down ahead of the day. Opens it up for the day.
In Lisbon, Amorim could overwhelm with energy. In Manchester, energy alone isn't enough. This is a league built on transitions. Every team, from City to Wolves, trains to exploit the smallest crack. And Amorim's system, built on relentless front foot pressing, bleeds space when executed imperfectly. At Sporting, Amorim had Pedro Porro and Nuno Mendes, machines disguised as wingbacks. At United, he's working with players learning new instincts. Fullbacks used to defending deep, not attacking relentlessly. Forwards used to freedom, not obligation. So, when United try to mimic scary Sporting, they collapse under their own tempo. Not because the idea is wrong, but because the body doesn't match the brain yet. It's like asking a violinist to play death metal. You can give them the notes, but not the rage. The Premier League exposes that gap. It's not tactical, it's cultural. We're not there yet. But we will be, because he knows this version of Manchester United, this fragile, fearful, unbalanced version, isn't the one he's building. This is the in-between, the messy middle between collapse and creation. And maybe that's what scares fans most. That the football Amorim promised, the one that burned through Portugal, isn't ready for this league yet. Amorim may seem stubborn, but beneath the surface, something is changing. Watch closely and you'll see it. Tiny evolutions inside the chaos. A left centre-back stepping into midfield. A double pivot turning into a diamond during build-up. A 3-4-3 slowly morphing into a 3-2-5 hybrid. Boom. He's not abandoning his system. He's teaching it to breathe. At Sporting, Amorim's 3-4-3 was all aggression. At United, he's learning control. That's why his wingbacks now stagger their runs instead of bombing forward together. Why one midfielder, usually Mainu or Mount, holds while the other hunts. And why Bruno Fernandes, once the free spirit, is being asked to lead the press instead of escape it. These aren't random tweaks, they're survival tactics. He's slowly engineering a Premier League version of the 3-4-3. Less suicidal, more surgical. It's Amorim's version of Guardiola's evolution, from chaos to control. But instead of doing it with possession, he's doing it with tempo. He still wants the game fast. He just wants it to last. The training ground has become a lab. Double sessions, tactical rewiring, players pushed to exhaustion. Every repetition is a test of belief. He's rebuilding the system from the inside out. Not by buying stars, but by breaking habits. Because to play Amorim's football, you can't just follow instructions. You have to unlearn comfort. He's not building a tactic. He's building a new version of United, one that suffers to play beautifully. It's ugly now. It's inconsistent. It's fragile. But every monster is ugly before it's terrifying. And somewhere, in the long nights at Carrington, you can feel it. The pulse of something reborn. Scary Sporting 2.0 isn't dead. It's still growing its teeth. Every era of Manchester United begins the same way. Doubt. They doubted Ferguson's fire. They doubted Solskjaer's heart. They doubted Ten Hag's structure. Now they doubt Amorim's chaos. But football has a cruel habit. It turns mockery into memory. Because when the system finally clicks, the same chaos that embarrassed you will become your weapon. That's the paradox of Amorim's 3-4-3. It only works once the players stop fearing it. When belief replaces doubt, when United's players commit to the chaos, the pitch transforms. The press synchronizes. The backline steps higher. The crowd feels it before the opponent does. It's not perfection, it's momentum. A tidal wave in red. That's what Scary Sporting 2.0 really means. Not a copy of Lisbon, but a resurrection of belief. Because Amorim isn't trying to turn United into Sporting. He's trying to turn them into themselves, again. To reawaken that spirit of defiance, that madness of the Ferguson years. The system is just the disguise. The real weapon is conviction. So when will Scary Sporting 2.0 finally arrive? When the football stops looking rehearsed and starts looking inevitable. When the fear turns into rhythm. When pressing turns into poetry. When Manchester United once again become the storm instead of hiding from it. Until then, Amorim will keep building in silence. Every drill, every defeat, every roar from the Stretford end, another brick in the foundation. Because he's not chasing perfection, he's chasing belief. He's not here to copy Sporting. He's here to create something scarier,